A Metro Atlanta Police Department now under fire for how it investigated an alleged attack and home invasion.
You're about to witness how a disabled man in a wheelchair is gonna kick a door open to beat up a woman. Why? Let's find the fuck out.
So, what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out.
An Atlanta News First investigation uncovered evidence that that woman may have fabricated her story. Investigative reporter Andy Parati found it led to the arrest of a man who says he is innocent.
536, just confirming you're advising signal 20, front door.
College Park police respond to a home in June 2024.
Oh, thank God.
All right, how you doing?
After Catherine Jensen says her ex-boyfriend attacked her minutes before they arrived.
So, what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out. Tried to get the keys from my hand of my truck.
So he grabbed you by your neck?
I handle him myself. I'm too small.
So, this guy was framed. The woman didn't say that he is disabled, and he is disabled in a wheelchair. And she's saying that he kicked the door out and choked her out. We still don't know why she's saying all this stuff and why she has reported him. But the cops are gonna arrest him. Oh, by the way, everything that I said in the beginning of the video, if you believed me, you're probably a cop and I caught you. You're so freaking dumb. Go at least finish your high school diploma, you dumbass. Obviously, a disabled man isn't gonna do this. But cops? Looks like cops have been attacked by disabled men. Looks like cops have been kicked in the face. I don't know why I punched with my hand, but they've been kicked with legs in the freaking face by disabled men. And they've probably had some trauma or whatever. At least these cops, because where's the remorse? Where's the general sense of intelligence or whatever? Like, what? Are you that dumb?
You say he kicked the door in?
He did.
Charles Reed is the man Catherine claimed broke into her home and assaulted her.
She said I kicked in the door.
And why is that a problem?
Because I'm in a wheelchair and have been for 25 years.
Oh, come there.
Charles cannot move his legs. He's paraplegic following an accident when he was a teenager. Andrew Fleischman is Charles' attorney.
She describes that he's of average build.
Tall, short.
Average height.
That he has brown hair. That he's in black clothing.
So all black?
I want to say yes, sir.
But not that he's in a wheelchair. Never mentions it. And that is probably the number one thing you'd mention about somebody.
Especially as they're running away.
On foot.
I guess he took off on foot.
Charles and Catherine did date, but it was more than 20 years ago. They never kept in touch. He's been married for a decade with a newborn. And the day of the alleged attack, Charles says he was at a dinner party with friends.
Did police contact you at all?
No, not at all. Not a single time.
You didn't get a phone call?
Not a phone call.
You didn't get an email?
Not an email. Not a visit.
No one questioned you about this?
Nope.
For 9 months, Charles says he had no clue officers had a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault until the federal government alerted him when he tried to renew his passport. So he emailed Officer McKinley Boletti and set up a time to meet at the police department last month.
So, for 9 months, he had a warrant because, you know, this crazy woman called the cops on him. And he had a warrant. The cops didn't check any of his medical records, you know, documents. Like, he's been living with a wheelchair for 25 freaking years. Can they, like, look up his documents online or whatever and see, he has no history of driving a car. He has a history of medical problems involving this accident. Are you guys that lazy? But also arresting this kind of a man? Do you actually think that cops would arrest this kind of a man? Probably not. They're probably gonna guess, this is probably something that, you know, was a little misunderstanding from the woman and she went crazy and maybe we should get her to the police office and, you know, talk with her. But no. Cops aren't that smart. Okay? They're not. At least not these kinds of cops.
Then I finally go up there literally knowing absolutely nothing about it. I essentially surrendered myself because I was that innocent.
According to the body camera video, Officer Boletti questioned whether he was actually disabled.
Unfortunately, you do have the warrant out for your arrest, so I'm going to have to place you into custody.
Is this a joke?
Charles warned the officer putting handcuffs on would likely make him fall because of his paralysis.
I'm sitting there literally exactly like this in my chair. And so he handcuffs me and I'm like, hey, like just FYI, like I can't move. I literally can't. I don't have muscle control.
It's too late.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Nah, I don't want to believe this stuff. Like, does this cop have the intelligence of a squirrel? I don't know what are the pre-qualifications of someone becoming a cop. Like, what test do you have to pass? Like, are you supposed to know what 1 + 1 is? I know I'm hating on cops way too much. Trust me, I don't have any problem with cops. I just have a problem with these on this freaking video because, like, okay, he is disabled. You don't have to put handcuffs on him. Yeah, the law says you have to put... Okay, just be sensible, be understanding, be a freaking human. Just understand the environment. If he is actually disabled for 25 years, look up the documents to see check if he's not lying. I mean, listen, if the guy somehow has been lying all this time, and on the documents it says that he is legally actually disabled, and he has been that way for 25 years, and he suddenly gets up and starts fighting, he deserves to be free. That man is a genius. Somehow he hacked the legal system, or the medical system as well. I don't know why someone would do this to themselves and lie that they're, a disabled person for 25 years. I'm going off topic, aren't I? With my dumbass, illogical mysteries and fantasies. But yeah, the cop should have just said, okay, well, I'm just gonna push him to the, office where I'm gonna interrogate him and talk with him and maybe call the woman as well. No, I'm gonna put handcuffs on him and risk breaking his freaking back. Yeah, that's the cop way to do it.
I mean, I could have broken my hip and died, like, very quickly.
How did they respond?
They literally sat there and just watched me writhe on the ground.
The officer still didn't believe Charles was disabled. Neither did his supervisor, who never put his eyes on Charles before saying this.
It's a ruse, man. So, I mean, it's an obvious attempt to not to go to jail. So
A fellow officer disagreed.
Might need to call the district attorney's office, because if the door was kicked in, he didn't kick it in.
Finally, Officer Belletti admits he could be wrong.
Because now it's looking like she might have made a false report.
He started to hurt me about March of this year. And
A year before Catherine claimed Charles assaulted her, the Noonan Police Department, about 30 miles away, arrested her for theft and forgery after allegedly filing a false police report claiming someone stole from her. Fleischman says officers have access to a state database identifying prior arrests, but Officer Belletti never mentions Catherine's arrest record in the incident report.
So they have a state database of people's previous arrests, but they didn't think about going to, the hospital and checking that database for the persons, like both of them. Check her mental health status throughout the years, if she has any medical documents on that stuff, and also check his medical records if he is actually freaking disabled. Woman, why would you make this kind of a false report? Like, what? March this year? Well, last year. Why make this report? Why lie? What? He's been with that wife, and also he has a kid right now. He's been married with that wife for 10 freaking years, as if I'm remembering correctly. And now, after 10 years, you're making a false report. Maybe there was some stuff happening in the background. Maybe he was, I don't know, doing some dumbass, cruel, bad stuff online to her. I mean, even if he was doing some dumbass, bad, cruel, online stuff to her. Well, number one, he is a dumbass and his family should leave him because he's a dumbass. And secondly, why just not ignore him? Or if he's done something like that, why just not, screenshot it and send it to him? He's now, present wife, right? I don't know. I'm just floating in fantasies again. I'm probably wrong. This woman has been probably daydreaming on some stuff. Maybe she's on some kind of drugs. she looks like she's on some kind of drugs, and maybe like she hallucinated while she was sleeping, or maybe she was having one of those kinds of dreams where your body is still asleep, sleep paralysis. So her sleep paralysis demon was her previous husband walking all of a sudden and going into her house and stealing stuff. Again, all my fantasies are just dumb stuff that I'm thinking of, and probably none of that happened. Probably she just was bored. She was lonely, and she wanted some revenge, I guess. We don't know the whole story, the whole background of how their, relationship and stuff ended. I don't want to know it, but this is not the way to go through hardships, girl, okay? Do your freaking drugs and leave innocent people alone. I'm joking. Don't do drugs.
I've never seen a case where somebody was so clearly innocent, and it would take so little work to establish it, and nobody was willing to do the work.
It was a tumultuous relationship.
According to this email obtained by Charles' attorney, Catherine wrote to a College Park police detective this week asking to change her statement, writing, "My mental state and physical trauma in that moment worked to confuse me. Please contact me at your convenience so I can edit the information in the report and clear the name of an innocent man."
Now that you dumbass woman, got in trouble and you got caught, now you're playing the victim card of, oh no, he's innocent. It was just my trauma. It was just, the bad stuff that happened to me. And all of a sudden, I just wanted to, cause some carnage, some drama, some dumbass stuff to a guy. Also, I don't know why the police didn't immediately call his house, him, to I don't know, just ask him and talk about stuff. What? They waited for 9 months for him to, go and update his passport or ID card, whatever it was, I don't remember. And that's when they told him and, evicted him and stuff. What? So if he didn't go to update his ID card or passport or whatever, he was probably going to be left for months and months on end. What if he was actually, the kind of a person that she explained on the report, and he, goes and does more damage to more people, or just, goes to her house and does more damage? But there's so many questions with all of the situation in my head, and it makes zero sense. And I don't know who's dumber in this situation. I mean, the guy could also be some kind of a bad retard for some reason, and maybe he has done some traumatic stuff to this woman. But again, without evidence, she looks like a crazy woman. That's it. Be careful who you date. And for the cops, I hope they didn't give her this kind of a chance and they arrested her and stuff. I hope so. Let's freaking find out.
How's this impacted you?
Well, I haven't been able to leave my house in a meaningful way in 2 or 3 months, just out of fear that I'll be picked up for an arrest warrant.
Has the police department apologized?
Not a single bit. Haven't heard a word from them. In fact, we've been trying to get into communication with them repeatedly, both me and my lawyer.
Because ultimately, that's all we're asking for, just to be adults. Take responsibility when you make a mistake and try to fix it.
College Park police did not respond to repeated requests for comment about this case. We reached out to Catherine Jensen. She also did not respond, but her mother says she now acknowledges Charles did not attack her. Catherine has not been charged in this case. Charles' attorney says the DA's office plans to drop his charges. Andy Parati, Atlanta News First, investigates.
So at least she got in trouble, and at least she's gonna get arrested and stuff. Again, I don't freaking care about her. She's crazy, but like I said, corrupt freaking cops. The attorney and the guy called, even the newscaster, the speaker in the news, even he said they called the police station. No response. Nothing. How do you know, the attorney or the man in the wheelchair, they could be calling you for some other stuff, the woman could have went crazy, bizarre, barbaric, and went to his house and tried to cause damage and stuff, and you're not answering because you're expecting, okay, this guy is probably calling us because he wants, reparations for all the dumb stuff we did to him, like one of our cops actually almost killed him by trying to arrest him, and his body just, paralyzed, and well, he arrested himself for them. I shouldn't be joking about this stuff. I don't deserve to live, okay? I don't deserve to live making dark jokes about this stuff. But yeah, I hope they continue fighting for this case. Again, it's not that big of a deal. Well, what actually it is, like that little girl or boy, again, I still forget a lot of stuff. That little kid could have lost her or his already pretty suffering and dead in a wheelchair. They could have lost him because of a stupid cop with zero remorse and an intelligence of a freaking mammoth. Well, actually, mammoths were probably way more intelligent than these kinds of people, but you know what I mean. Anyway, that's the full video. Hope you guys have a nice day and steer clear of crazy people. Please maybe learn how to read people or just learn how to leave people when you see some red flags of them being crazy. And yeah, that's about it. Keep safe and have a nice day.